Where is Jupiter in the chart? Ninth house. So why would Jupiter bring about an amendment? And if it brings about an amendment, it will be for what purpose? What does the ninth house have to do? Dharma.
So to correct some wrong or some.
And it is with whom? It is with Surya. Who is Surya? Surya is the leader. America has two leaders, not one. The president and the vice president. And both of the positions are very important positions. Whenever an election is held, election is always held for a team. It is not held for one person. It is always being held for a president and a vice president simultaneously. And the president and the vice president are the Sun and Jupiter in the ninth house. So it was but natural that in Rahu Dasha, the Dasha was of Rahu. Rahu is the fifth lord of philosophy, sitting in the second house of debates and looking at the eighth house of amendment. So during Rahu Dasha, there is bound to be many amendments. The whole of Rahu Dasha will be full of amendments. In Jupiter Dasha, the amendments will come down. You see the point? You see the difference between the two Dashas. So in Rahu, yeah, Satriji?
Well, why does the seventh house symbolize judiciary, what you're saying there?
Seventh house of the natural zodiac is Libra. So the seventh house is judiciary. Seventh house is the house where Saturn gets Digbala, directional strength, the power to punish he gets. He forces people to go in his direction.
Because I learned in Western astrology that the judge was Jupiter because he had to have a wise power of decision, like Solomon.
Right. The wise one is always Jupiter, and his 11th house is Saturn. That is why Saturn in the 11th house makes very good judges. It is not only the wisdom of Jupiter, but the power to punish of Saturn that makes a good judge. A judge who cannot punish is not a good judge. If he is like Jupiter, forgiving and this thing, he might as well become a priest, not a judge. See the thing, a judge has to be extremely unbalanced. He has to hold that thing, be very cold and punish if there is punishment due, and to the right extent. It's a very tough job. It's a very Saturnine job.
It has to do with Shiva Baba, 16, 11th.
Yeah, yeah. So you see, it was in Rahu Jupiter that the president and the vice president amendment was decided. And then you can see various other amendments. The 13th amendment was ratified on 6 December 1865 in Mercury Dasha, Rahu Antardasha, when slavery was abolished. Is that interesting? Why did Mercury abolish slavery?
Isn't that Raja Yoga?
Is the ninth lord. Ninth lord will be the carrier of dharma, the fundamental rights. The right to freedom is the first fundamental right.
It's also the 12th lord, and the slaves were mostly foreigners.
And it was also the 12th lord. So Mercury's prime focus was to guarantee fundamental rights. He is the ninth lord. He has to guarantee it. You look at the US Constitution, the Lagna lord and the ninth lord are together. So that means fundamental rights are very strong part of the Constitution. A very integral part of the Constitution, not like India. We'll do India's chart. And it is so important that even if one US citizen is killed anywhere, there is a total focus on it. In India, so many people can die, they just are reported as numbers. You see, there is no value to life. So the dharma is lost over there, you see. Now, this is important. Slavery was abolished in Mercury Rahu. Why? Ninth lord Mercury, I understand. What is the role that Rahu plays?
It means slaves, for one thing. It has a natural karaka.
Saturn is a natural karaka for slaves.
12th house is a natural place of slaves.
Correct. But why Rahu? Rahu is bringing about the amendment. We have seen that earlier. Whenever Ketu or Rahu will come, the amendment will have to happen. The transformation has to happen. So, it was in Mercury Rahu that the transformation pertaining to fundamental rights happened.
We say this was major because Rahu doesn't follow the natural order of the sun. So whatever the
No, in this chart, Rahu has to simply bring about transformations. That's his job. Fifth lord of knowledge in the second house of debates. So, debates must precede any transformation. That is the big thing about this chart. There is no transformation without a debate. Fifth lord is in the second house. So, there must be a debate. There is always a debate. In fact, you will see, if you read, you will read the 7 great debates of Abraham Lincoln. Have you read those debates? You are Americans.
But our minds are with SGC.
Thank you, Lakshmi.
No, Satsuri does have a point, though, because Rahu's lordship of Saturn in the 5th.
That's the point. That's the point. But you see, Rahu has not only brought about the amendment over here, but also over here, Mars Dasha, Rahu Antardasha, which ratified the amendment that limits the judicial power of the United States. So you can see that Rahu is coming whenever there is an amendment, irrespective of what the topic is. The topic there was Mars. Mars is the 7th lord, the judiciary in Badhaka. Badhaka means limiting, obstruction.
And the judiciary being Mars.
Yeah, judiciary is indicated in your chart, in the American chart by Mars. It is in the 11th house. So, Mars will indicate what are the qualities that you expect of the judiciary, let us say when I talk of Aries and Mars. You expect them to be very proactive,
Yeah, it's enforcement.
very strong with enforcement. That is the biggest plus point of the American judiciary. What are the biggest minus point that we expect from a normal judiciary? Saturn, slow. So you think the American judiciary will be slow? No. Mars is the 7th lord. The judiciary is very fast. Judgment is very fast. I mean, cases don't drag on for 15 years. Do they? No. Not really. Not really. In India, it used to be, I don't know, now they have brought about major reforms. But in India, if you file a case, normally it's your son that will complete it.